Yeah, moving on to like brand cohesion and brand expansion. So I was telling you guys I've been playing Wildermyth. Another game that I had tried to play was a game, Corey, you had recommended, which was Marvel Midnight Suns. You said, hey, it's made by Firaxis. It kind of has a little bit of the XCOM feel to it, but it has like the deck building aspect of it and all that stuff. They just recently had a free play weekend of it on Steam. So I downloaded it on the Steam Deck. It actually plays really good on the Steam Deck. So I downloaded it and I'm playing it. And I'm like, okay, well, the card deck building thing, I'm kind of getting into this. Okay. And then there's like a little bit of the XCOM thing, partly with like positioning and knockbacks and some stuff. Not full, but the bones of it are there. I can get into this whole thing. Okay, cool. Different power-ups and abilities, right? But then I'd say I got probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours into it. And then there was a lot of story going on. There's a lot of talking.
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't like all this talking, right? I'm like, as a gamer, I don't like all this talking. Except I do. Okay? The problem wasn't that they were talking. The problem was that Captain Marvel was talking to Iron Man. And Iron Man was talking to Blade. By the way, nice to see Blade make an appearance. I really appreciate that.
Movie coming out soon.
It's coming out soon. So that led me to a revelation. And it was, I like this game, except for the fact that it's a Marvel game. And I stopped playing it.
Heartbreaking.
I had the whole weekend to keep playing it for free. It's a brand new game. Right. I could have kept playing the whole weekend. And I stopped playing it so I could go and buy This Is the Belize 1 and 2 and start playing those games. And guess what, Corey? They talk just as much in those games.
But you play them because it's not Marvel.
But I enjoyed it. I'm like, yeah, a nice visceral, grounded cop action. Not cop action, but cop story.
Right.
So that made me reflect on myself and think about some things. Has there ever been a game that you either weren't just because of the IP or the thing related to it, you're like, I'm not going to touch it, even though it seems like something I would want to play? Or has there ever been a game where you gave it a try and you're like, you know what? I like this game, except it's based in this universe, or except it has this theme attached to it. And it so disconnects me from the game and the mechanics and everything at the core of it that I just can't enjoy the experience. Has that ever happened for you guys with any games?
Go ahead, David.
I mean, I guess kind of like with the Star Wars, like I played the original Battlefield 2, and that was an amazing game. Like I bought it from a PS3 to play it again, and it's fun. But I just avoid Star Wars. I'm not interested in it. The movies aren't that great in my opinion. Like they're good enough to have, the fans that they do, but to have like a cult following I avoid it. And then if they've made any Star Trek games, I played the one on Sega, and I've never been more mad. So never again want to play a Star Trek game.
Yeah.
So when you told us about this topic, I was like racking my brain because I was thinking much, much, much darker stuff. I didn't know you'd come out with Marvel and Star Wars. God forbid, I was thinking like Holocaust or like really horrible things. And my answer was there is not one theme that I would refuse to play.
Okay.
There's not one. You can name everything in the book, and depending on how it was approached and how it was handled, and why they made that theme the way it was, I would give a game a shot if it was something I was interested in. I would have to be interested in the game itself. I'm not going to play a game, oh, this game is the Holocaust, I'm going to play it. Or take, for instance, something like Hatred. Have you guys both heard of that game?
Oh, yeah.
No.
It was quite the stir 5-6 years ago. It was a game about killing innocent people for no reason. Your guy was a lunatic. He was mad. You would go around the streets just murdering people. Literally it was just a murder simulator. And that game should be out there. People should play it if they want to. I had no interest. It looked like a horrible game, and there wasn't really a message behind that. It was literally just a senseless, we're just murdering people. But I have no issue playing any theme at all. Like I said, got to be the right situation, got to have the right purpose behind it. But I would give any game a shot. I see video games as art, and artists like to express themselves just like the same way I would probably check out most any type of movie.
Yeah. So that's it. So even if there's a quote unquote, you wouldn't say you suffer anything. Like I think for me with Marvel Midnight Suns, it's mostly just a issue of brand fatigue, right?
Yeah. So no, I understand.
Has there never been any case where maybe you've experienced brand fatigue with anything?
I mean, for sure. I know I have.
But that's never kept you from like trying the game or anything?
No, nope. Okay. Now, obviously, once I try it, I might be like, oh man, I'm just not into this. For instance, I think a big thing that hurt The Witcher for me was I was kind of done with that kind of grimy, old school medieval feel. Like The Witcher 3 is one of the best games, but I believe Game of Thrones was going on at the time. And you had things like Dragon Age that were before, The Witcher 3. And I was so involved in those, like, we're a little bit magical, we're medieval, but bad things happen here. It's grimy. It's not, fun here. It was kind of like one of those things where I played it. I was like, oh, man, this is just a drag. I just want to have fun, man. Like, I don't want to see this person getting, sexually assaulted or anything. This is too much, But like I said, in a certain time frame, I might want to play something like that. If I get into a certain mood, I want to experience, things deeper than just, Final Fantasy, chocobos or something. So
with something like The Witcher 3, right? Like, it wasn't. You didn't necessarily like enjoy the theme or the atmosphere of it, right? That whole like kind of like desperate, mystical or magical medieval time thing. But so that wasn't like the catalyst for you maybe not playing it. It might have been something like the combat or like the storytelling or something like that might have like spurred your disinterest in it. And this was just another component that was like just not part of what it didn't help make the experience enjoyable at all.
I do think it was the main component, though.
Okay.
I didn't love the combat. I'm more of like a freeform Batman Arkham, and it has a little bit of that with the heavy attacks and dodging and stuff. But I definitely think it was mostly the theme that did it. But I didn't refuse to play it or stop playing it because of that. Like I said, I don't know if the timelines match up, but I did try to play Dragon Age Inquisition, and that the theme hurt, but that game just felt really boring more than anything. And like I said, I was just kind of done with that theme, but not refusing to play it or not necessarily quitting because of just that reason. But yeah, it's a big thing. I have a good friend from work. He really only likes to play realistic games. If your game's not realistic, like no matter what it is, shooters, racing, like if your game's not realistic, he won't touch it at all. I've tried to convince him, like, oh man, this game's a lot of fun. Oh, what's it look like? Well, it has, a cartoony art style. Nah, I can't play that.
That's crazy because like I play games to get away from the real world.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not special in any sort of way when it comes to gaming, but I would say I'm definitely like an omni gamer. That's like a board game term I've been hearing around lately. Omni, everything. I don't care. So, realistic or cartoony, I love it all, man. I just want to experience new things, no matter what it is.
Well, as they say, different strokes for different painters.
Yeah, that's what they say.
So, yeah, something like that.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
That's very interesting because, like Marvel, it was the Marvel. It was mostly that. That's what took me away from it. David, you mentioned like Star Wars, and like I remember Fallen Order. I should like that game, but I don't because it's Star Wars. I'm an actual Star Wars fan, but it's like just too much it's too much of the brand, it's too much of the IP. Dress this up as something else, I probably engage with it a lot more, you know.
How far removed from those properties do you have to be to like go back to them though? Like, are you just done with Star Wars in general forever, David? Like, if in 10 years they don't make a Star Wars movie, you know, or a show, which they will.
Yeah, I watched the original 6 movies, and I played Battlefield 2, and I played another one. For the life of me, I can't remember what one it is, but I only enjoyed Battlefield 2.
Okay.
I like the concept of it, you know, the whole Jedi thing and lightsabers. Those are freaking cool. No, like, hate Star Wars if you want. I'm just not a fan. I don't hate it, but lightsabers, amazing. Yeah, it does not entertain me at all. It might just be the story and everything behind it. But like, if like, you know, Darth Vader's in Fortnite, like that's, you know,
that's fine.
That's fine.
No big deal.
Yeah, like, oh, Darth Vader's in here. I don't want to play this anymore. But it's just the story, and I guess that's probably about it.
So Jeremy, same like question for you. How far removed from Marvel? And Marvel will never end, but like, is it right. Is it a dead franchise for you? Like even in 15 years, you can't see yourself picking up a Marvel game?
Here's what I'll say. I think Midnight Suns would have had a better chance had it chose a complete list of heroes that hadn't appeared in any mainline Marvel franchises.
So I was actually going to bring that up, which is funny because, you know, obviously they want to sell their games. So half the roster is mainline franchise people. You know, you got your Captain Marvel, Iron Man, Captain America, Spider-Man. But the other half is the Midnight Suns, like the team from there, which includes Blade, Nico, Magic, you know, the new Ghost Rider. Like, and those characters are the ones I felt most compelled to play with and use because they had abilities I'd never seen before, you know, in terms of like on the big screen, which was nice.
Right. Those should be your characters then.
Yeah, that's who I played as. And that's why I was going to make a plea, like, you know, I know you didn't buy it.
You just boot the other ones out. You boot the other ones out. You just don't start with them at all. When I boot up that game, I don't want to see Captain Marvel or Iron Man or Spider. I don't want to ever see any of them. I want to see Blade and Nico and I don't want to see Doctor Strange. I want to see whoever else. I want to see Massimo down the street. Whoever else is on the Midnight Suns and these other people that play. I want to see them. Have them just be in it. Have them just be the people I interact with. I don't want to see all these these mainline people because that distorts. I don't have time. Why am I seeing Iron Man? He's dead. Why am I seeing him? You might say this happened. Well, this technically happened. Cool, but 4 years ago, Iron Man died, and so now he's dead.
That was 4 years ago.
Wow,
maybe. So that's it, right? Yeah. Spider-Man went to space and then married Zendaya, and now he's gone. Okay, he shouldn't be here right now. Okay, just pick different people, and then maybe I would have tried it. So I think that's a major part of it. I don't know,
but it's a shame. You have a good point because how many superheroes are there in the Marvel universe?
A couple.
And they have to keep focusing on the same like 10.
Right.
I mean, come on, guys. You know why. You know why they do it. They need to sell it. Yeah, they need to sell it. You're not putting Nico on the cover and having people buy the game, but if you put Iron Man on the cover, people buy in the game. That's how it works.
They'll buy it if Daredevil's on it.
You can put a Blade on there. You can put Ghost Rider on there.
Yeah, even Ghost Rider.
I mean, man, Daredevil would have been a good character to have.
Daredevil would have been amazing.
He's mainstream Marvel too. I don't know why you're
not as much though.
He's not mainstream. Look, you get Daredevil in there. You get Jessica Jones in there, right? You just spice it up a little with some of the lower tiered ones, right? You don't,
not to get into a Marvel, discussion here, which I guess we obviously are. I don't like what they do either. Like, take for instance, what was that? Marvel Infinite? No, what was the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, right? The fourth Marvel vs. Capcom game.
Okay, sure.
That whole Marvel side was filled with, I think, only MCU people. Only MCU people, which is very annoying because the old Marvel vs. Capcom, say like 2, had such a good blend of some X-Men, Doctor Doom, you know.
Yep.
And then Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was like Black Widow, Winter Soldier, just like, oh my God, these guys are not fun. Winter Soldier is not fun. Like, I don't care what anyone says. Like he's a guy that shoots guns. Black Widow's the person that I don't like that. You know, they do that with all the Marvel games. You know, the Marvel game that they just made that just the Avengers game that just bombed, just MCU characters. You know,
yeah.
You know, with Kamala Khan thrown in there, who would later get a TV show. It's just, you know why they do it. I know why they do it.
Yeah.
And they hope they can look past that for characters that are special, like I said, like Ghost Rider and Nico. But Jeremy, you couldn't get over your biasy.
Fair.
That's okay.